If you felt your brain turn to static mid-sentence during perimenopause, you're not imagining it, and you're not alone. Many women report brain fog, trouble focusing, losing words, or forgetting why they walked into a room. These changes often show up during the transition years before the final period and ease after hormones settle. Today, we'll explain what's happening in your brain, what the research says, and what actually helps. You'll leave with clear steps to protect sleep, mood, and thinking. Plus, when to see a clinician. Estrogen and the brain. Estrogen isn't just a reproductive hormone, it's also a brain hormone. Estrogen receptors live on neurons and support how brain cells use energy, talk to each other, and repair themselves. In plain English, estrogen helps the brain run smoothly. It fine-tunes memory systems, supports attention, and keeps mood circuits steady. During perimenopause, estrogen levels swing from high to low, sometimes week to week. Those swings can change how efficiently the brain uses glucose, its main fuel, tweak neurotransmitters like serotonin and acetylcholine, and nudge brain networks that manage focus and word finding. These shifts don't mean neurons are dying. They mean the system is recalibrating under changing conditions. For many people, the brain adapts as hormone levels stabilize after the final period. But while you're in the transition, that recalibration can feel like fog, distractibility, or slowed recall, especially when stress or poor sleep pile on. Brain fog defined. Brain fog isn't a single disease. It's a cluster of cognitive complaints, most often word-finding problems, lapses in working memory, holding a phone number in mind, slower processing speed, and distractibility. On tests, many midlife women score within the normal range, but notice a dip compared to their personal best. Importantly, typical perimenopausal brain fog is not dementia. Dementia involves progressive decline that interferes with daily independence. In contrast, menopause-related changes tend to be mild to moderate, fluctuate with symptoms like hot flashes and sleep, and often improve after the transition. That said, if you or loved ones see rapid worsening, major functional losses, or new neurological symptoms, get checked. Brain fog also overlaps with depression, anxiety, thyroid problems, vitamin B12 deficiency, and sleep apnea. Treating those can clear the haze. What imaging studies reveal? Modern imaging gives a window into the transition. MRI studies report small, temporary dips in gray matter volume and changes in white matter integrity across perimenopause, with signs of rebound after menopause. PET scans show shifts in how certain brain regions use glucose, again, most pronounced while hormones are fluctuating. Researchers have also mapped estrogen receptors in living brains, confirming that areas involved in memory and attention are hormonally sensitive. Think of it like a city during major utility work. Traffic slows, detours appear, but the roads aren't destroyed. These brain changes track with symptoms such as hot flashes and poor sleep. Importantly, the size of the changes is modest. They don't predict that dementia is inevitable. Instead, they support what many women feel, a phase of altered efficiency that often normalizes. Imaging doesn't replace clinical care, but it validates the lived experience and points to targets: sleep, vasomotor symptoms, mood, for practical help. The symptom web: sleep, mood, and hot flashes. Cognition doesn't happen in a vacuum. Night sweats can shatter sleep, and fragmented sleep weakens attention and memory the next day. Frequent hot flashes are linked with objective brain changes, including more stress system activation and, in some studies, more white matter wear and tear over time. Mood matters too. Anxiety crowds working memory. Depression slows processing and recall. Add midlife stressors, aging parents, teens, career demands, and the signal-to-noise ratio drops further. Here's the good news. These levers are treatable, improving sleep quality, reducing hot flashes, and treating depression or anxiety often lifts cognitive complaints without any brain pill. Practical wins include consistent bed/wake times, cooling the bedroom, limiting alcohol close to bedtime, paced breathing for flashes, and addressing snoring or witnessed apneas. For many, cognitive function improves most when sleep and vasomotor symptoms are controlled. Risk and resilience factors. Risk isn't one size fits all. Earlier menopause, before 45, especially surgical menopause where both ovaries are removed, is linked with greater long-term cognitive risk if untreated. Vascular health, blood pressure, cholesterol, blood sugar also shapes brain aging. What helps the heart helps the brain. Family history of dementia, head injuries, and chronic inflammatory conditions can stack the deck. On the resilience side, regular physical activity, social connection, cognitive engagement, and good sleep build brain reserve. Education and lifelong learning appear protective. Hormone therapy started near the final period may help some symptoms and quality of life. Started much later, it may not help cognition and can carry different risks. Lifestyle plus symptom control remains the backbone. Dementia and Alzheimer's, what we know and don't. Here's the balanced picture. Menopause itself is a normal life stage, not a disease. Some studies suggest earlier or surgical menopause is associated with higher dementia risk, particularly without hormone replacement. Other large studies show mixed results about menopausal hormone therapy, MHT. Timing seems crucial. Starting standard dose estrogen therapy around the transition may have different brain effects than starting it many years later. Major guidelines agree on 2 points. 1. Don't use MHT to prevent cognitive decline or dementia. Evidence doesn't support it. 2. Consider MHT primarily for bothersome vasomotor symptoms after weighing personal risks and benefits with a clinician. Non-hormonal options can also reduce hot flashes, which may indirectly help cognition by improving sleep. Meanwhile, midlife vascular health is a proven lever for lowering late-life dementia risk. Manage blood pressure, sugar, and exercise. Bottom line, protect the basics, treat symptoms, and personalize decisions rather than chasing a single menopause brain cure. What helps? Practical tools and treatments. Start with sleep. Aim for a steady schedule, a cool, dark room, and a 30 to 60-minute wind-down without screens. If snoring, choking, or severe insomnia are present, ask about sleep apnea or cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia, CBTI. For hot flashes, evidence-based options include menopausal hormone therapy for eligible women and non-hormonal choices like an NK3 receptor blocker, fezolinetant, certain antidepressants at low dose, gabapentin at night, or clonidine. Discuss benefits and side effects with your clinician. Fezolinetant, for example, carries a rare liver injury warning and needs lab monitoring. For mood and anxiety, psychotherapy, and when indicated, medication can improve both well-being and mental clarity. Lifestyle upgrades pay off. Regular aerobic exercise, 2 or more weekly strength sessions, a Mediterranean-style eating pattern, and limiting alcohol support brain and vascular health. Cognitive strategies help during foggy days. Write things down, use calendar and reminder apps, batch similar tasks, and build buffers into your schedule. Finally, don't go it alone. Support groups, trusted friends, or a menopause-trained clinician can turn guesswork into a plan. When to get checked and what a workup looks like. See a clinician if you notice rapid decline, getting lost in familiar places, trouble managing money or medications, new neurological symptoms, severe depression, or sleep disruption that isn't improving. A typical workup starts with history and exam, mood and sleep screening, and labs for thyroid function, vitamin B12, iron, and sometimes vitamin D. If indicated, your clinician may assess for sleep apnea or medication side effects. Neuropsychological testing can map strengths and weaknesses and guide strategies. The goal isn't to label you, it's to rule out treatable causes and tailor care. The road ahead. Research is moving fast. New imaging is mapping estrogen-sensitive brain circuits with more precision. Trials are testing whether better control of hot flashes and sleep translates into sharper thinking. Scientists are also probing how midlife blood pressure and glucose control shape late-life brain health, and how genetics interact with timing of menopause and therapy. Expect clearer guidance on who benefits from which treatments and when. The takeaway: you have levers you can pull today, and better tools are coming. Next up, a quick recap and your action list. Menopause can nudge thinking, but for most, changes are temporary and ease as hormones settle. Treat sleep and hot flashes, support mood, exercise regularly, and manage blood pressure, cholesterol, and blood sugar. Consider MHT for symptoms if appropriate, not to prevent dementia. Ask for help when red flags appear. You're not losing your edge, your brain is recalibrating, and you can guide it well. Did this hit home? You are not alone. The comments are our safe space to be honest about brain fog, sleep, mood, and everything in between. Share the one symptom that bothers you most and one thing that helps on tough days. Then reply to someone else. We rise by lifting each other. If this was helpful, please like, subscribe, and turn on the bell so you'll catch next week's practical steps and real stories from women like you. Send this to a friend who needs to hear she's not crazy or weird. We're building a warm, steady community. Your story matters here. Comment "I'm in" to join our weekly check-ins.